So Heather, you completed the 12-week postnatal depletion recovery, and I know it has been a few months already. We're just having this conversation now. But for people listening, would you just like to share where you're from and how old your kids are?
I am from Iowa in the United States, and I have two children. They are 9 years old, and um, the other one is 22 months old.
So we did do an assessment at the beginning and the next one around halftime when you rated your energy as having tripled since we started working together, and baby sleep had improved by more than double. And in fact, you improved in all 14 areas significantly. And a couple that stood out for me that I just want to point out were the category speaking my truth, which went up from 5 to 8, and loving my body, which increased from 3 to 8 in just about 6 weeks. And after that, everything got even better when we tested at the end, although you had some significant challenges in your life at that time. So let's talk a little bit about where things were at when we first connected.
I was exhausted. I had brain fog and trouble just like, even if I ran into someone at the store, my brain was not working quite well to even have little small conversations with people. And I was tired and didn't want to like go do much. I just didn't feel great in myself and, as a mother, and just, I felt really disconnected from myself. Yeah. And just not getting enough sleep. Yeah. Also, like feeling super disconnected from my partner as well. It was just really, challenging being that kind of drained all the time and tired, and then my son having eczema and knowing that my breast milk affects him. So it was just like so difficult to figure out, what do I eat that's really going to nourish me and my baby. And it all just felt really overwhelming with his eczema flare-ups, and knowing that what I'm eating is affecting him, just not knowing what is going to really nourish us, and what's going to have a negative effect on us as well.
And how is that now for you?
I honestly feel like better than I ever have about my cooking, and feeling like I am choosing nutritious things that make me feel good. Yeah, I honestly feel better than I ever have in that area. I actually starting to like love cooking for my family and get excited when it's like I figured out something new that we could make, even though we do have certain limitations. Like I've gotten used to those limitations, and now I can like find new things, and I get so excited. It's like, oh, this tastes really good and it's really good for us. And yeah, that's going really well, actually.
Do you remember that you were using the microwave at that time quite regularly because you were kind of overwhelmed? And where's that microwave now?
Yeah, we gave away that microwave like not long after starting working with you, and we're very happy with that decision.
And we made some space and found a way to include your toddler into the kitchen, which was such a big deal too, that you felt like you couldn't make dinner and be with them, and you felt torn. And then that jumbled up the whole evening routine because you had to wait for your partner to come home. So yeah, well
so
done.
on the counter, got rid of the microwave and made space for my little guy to join us at the counter. Yeah, that was awesome.
And what would you say, what was the obstacle for you at that time with nutrition, just talking about this area?
I honestly felt like pretty just overwhelmed by even the thought of going into my kitchen. And like you said, that one obstacle of not knowing what to do with my toddler at the time, and because he just wanted attention during that time, and it was like, so there was that, and then feeling overwhelmed by that on top of not knowing what was going to be good for us to eat. And you know I don't know, that was just something that always overwhelmed me. I honestly am kind of blown away at how much better that is for me, and how much
Mm-hmm.
I can just go into my kitchen now and I don't feel overwhelmed, unless the dishes are piled up a little bit. But otherwise, I can just go in there and look at what we have and say, okay, I can put this, and this together, and it'll be a great, healthy meal for my family. And
Yeah.
before, like, that didn't happen very often, where it was just, I go in my kitchen and I can do it and feel confident.
Amazing. Yeah. And
Yeah.
how was it for you to find out which foods were exactly what your body needed, and Legend, your toddler's body, and what nutrients were missing, what supplements were good? Like, how did you find that helpful in terms
That
of
was,
confidence? And yeah,
that was huge. Just having that list of like, okay, we know that these are the things that are affecting us negatively, especially learning what was affecting Legend and his skin, what he was sensitive to, and then knowing like these are the things that are really good for you, that are going to really like nourish you and help you heal. Just having that list kind of was a really great starting point. And at first it could feel a little bit like overwhelming to be like, oh, I can only eat these things. And I have to cook at home for the most part to reach that. But having that specific list was like, okay, I know what to focus on now. So I'm just going to focus on these things and start incorporating them and kind of making like swaps for certain things. And yeah, just having that list and being able to take it step by step to slowly shifting to a new way, made it just so much easier and less overwhelming.
yeah. And I don't know if you remember, you guys were like having Cheerios actually at that time, right? And like, look how far you've come, right? And found wholesome options that all of you love. And
Yeah, I
amazing.
love that so much. It's hard to like, I forgot about that. Like, yeah, it has changed so much. And now the choices that I make when I'm at the grocery store, like I feel so much more like confident even just going to the grocery store and being like, okay, what does this have in it? And like before it was like sometimes you can feel like, oh, well, I have to make the less healthy choice because it's a little more expensive to get the healthier choice, or it's like, I don't know, there's just like little excuses for making the less healthy choice. It's easier or something. But now I feel actually like confident and like, no, I'm going to make the healthier choice because I can see the benefits of like our health being more consistent and like our energy being more consistent and our digestion being better.
And if you remember, what was your big challenge with breastfeeding at the time?
I mean, one thing was just that it was so frequent at night that it was exhausting. And the other thing when we first started working together is that Legend was like biting my nipple a lot more. Like when he would be getting close to being done nursing, he would like bite me and sometimes like small wounds. And that was extremely frustrating and difficult.
Yeah, and then we found out it was actually due to his discomfort in his tummy. And once we fixed that, like he stopped the biting. So
at that time, I definitely was, I used the word overwhelmed a lot at that point. And that made me just kind of more reactive, like made me be more short or irritable, like with my family. It was hard for me to like choose like this is what I'm going to do next because I know what I wanted next. It was just I felt so overwhelmed, and so I was just kind of like reacting to what was going on around me and trying to like, I don't know, like get through it, I guess. And that was very uncomfortable, and it's definitely way different now for me and did improve just steadily, I think, the whole time that I worked with you.
Yeah, I remember you started actually taking the lead a little bit more with your toddler, and the me time you requested and you got every morning, and even being able to get up out of bed when you wanted to and not being tied to bed for whenever. Like, I remember you said Legend was 100% dependent on the breast to go to sleep.
I mean, some of that has kind of backpedaled a little bit because I haven't been taking as much action on it. I mean, as we were working together, it definitely, and that feeling that I had has carried on. Like when I was working with you, I was taking that me time in the morning every day. And that just made such a difference in my energy and how I felt about myself. And I'm not as consistent as I was then, but it's definitely, there's more of a commitment to myself now than there used to be.
Yeah.
And like the stuff about, you know, the kind of being tied to Legend, like nursing him to sleep, I did make a lot of progress in that area, and I could nurse him right before he laid down, or nurse him and then do some of the bedtime routine and then lay him down and he would go to sleep on his own. Like I wouldn't even have to stay in the bed or anything. I kind of backpedaled on a lot of that, but what is nice is that when we were working together, we talked about it so much that I know what to do. Like, and I know I can. And so I just have to continue to like make that choice every day, which I have been. I'm ready to, I am starting to work back in that direction again.
Yeah, I think we got the game plan figured out, and it were just some logistical things with having the room ready and mattress and all of that. So because your goal was to get your partner back into your room and get the little guy in his own room.
We'll get there. I know, I feel confident that like I know what to do. It's just now I have to make that choice and just do it. I think for me, and probably a lot of people who have children with eczema, it can be so stressful and just upsetting, because really when you go to the doctor and they just tell you like, oh, the best thing you can do is get steroid cream, and oh, just avoid a couple of these foods, but you kind of just are going to have to ride it out, you know, and like see what happens, and maybe it'll go away on its own. Like I didn't like that answer, and I was going to avoid steroids at every cost if I could. You know, I wanted answers and I wasn't getting them. So to find someone to support me to finding those answers who has experience with it was really exciting, and just very relieving as a mother to know like, okay, now I really am doing everything that I can to improve my child's experience and like, you know, help them be more comfortable and healthy.
Yeah. And for you, it was actually something in your home which you're working on, actually to switch your home, because it's not all in your power, like, because you're not owning it, and so some things, they just can't be fixed by steroid creams till we actually get rid of the root cause. And then the triggers is one thing, which is the food, but even that's not enough till we actually get rid of the root cause. And
okay, this is what the actual cause is, and it's coming from my home. And so kind of needing to prioritize like, okay, how do I take care of that? And for me, that means moving. You know, it wouldn't mean that necessarily for everyone, but for me, it seems that's what it's gonna mean. So yeah, it is. I'm really grateful to know that, even though it is a challenging thing, with where we're at, but knowledge, now we can do something about it.
It's actually empowering just to know that even if kind of we haven't been able to switch the house yet, but just empowering to know where it's from instead of feeling helpless and blaming yourself, right? Like, because in the beginning you were very much like okay, food was one part, but that wasn't the main part at all. It was just kind of making it flare up. And he is a little bit more sensitive to certain foods because of that's going on in the house. But so many moms just blame themselves, and it actually had nothing to do with you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And we found out about some underlying root factors in your body, which we cleared out, and even some underlying belief around your identity as a mother, if that's okay to share.
Yeah, definitely.
There was like a fear program of like trying to be a good mama so hard that it's actually like a fear program, which then our nervous system then affects our kids' nervous system too. How did you find that helpful to find out about that?
Having guidance to like bring that to my attention, it really, at first it was just like, okay, now I'm like aware of this and I see myself doing it. It's like I can see where I was and I can see where I am now as far as that kind of perception and those kinds of thoughts in my mind. But it's harder for me to see like how I got there. But it is definitely like a huge difference. I don't beat myself up about little things anymore and put as much pressure on myself. The internal dialogue and acceptance of who I am as a mother, like at that point, when that kind of got brought to my attention, I felt like I was failing in so many ways. And I don't feel that way anymore as a mother. Like, I'm much more aware of what I tell myself.
Yeah.
And I feel so much joy now. I really do, about who I am as a mother. Like, I just love my children so much. And it's not like, there's not like this pressure anymore. That's like, oh, well, you didn't do good enough at that, or you should have done this, or you need to do better at that. Like that kind of pressure, I don't really put that on myself anymore. I actually have a lot more of like a loving relationship toward myself, and like, oh, you love your kids so much and that's why you do this, and that's, this is, I don't know, my relationship with them is just so much better. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so much more patient, and like all the things that I was like, oh, you're not enough. Like I'm actually starting to grow into those things without putting pressure on myself.
Yeah. Love that so much. It's so huge. Yeah.
It is. It's an amazing feeling.
And how did you like the somatic neurobalancing sessions we did to overcome limiting beliefs, integrate trauma, and reset the nervous system? How was that for you?
I absolutely love those sessions with you. I just love, I've always loved like guidance that can help you kind of see more clearly what's going on inside of you. And working with you was definitely the most powerful experience that I've had with that, where it was like permission to just like kind of let things go in a way and not have to like hold on to them and analyze them in a way that like it can bring up more pain and everything. It kind of was like allowing these things in myself to exist and like and growing through them. And the, I don't know, just the container that you create in that experience is to me one of my favorite kind of experiences that I've had with that kind of support.
And you did so well. You responded to it so well. You were so open to it. And I remember even just after a few minute-long sessions, you were just so much more relaxed and aligned and got more energy instantly. And
Yeah,
I wrote so many notes, but like you felt lighter, so much more connected in the body. And you said, and how did you find those recordings that you could use on your own to balance the nervous system and help with sleep?
I love them. I still listen to them from time to time. The the yoga nidra sleep one, like I don't think I've ever made it through the entire recording. But if I like notice that most of the time I can fall asleep okay, but sometimes my mind will just be going a little bit and I'll need that extra kind of calming like guidance, I guess. But I never make it through the entire recording. I think it's maybe 15 or 16 minutes long. I'm asleep before it's over.
Amazing.
I haven't used the neuro balancing one as much as I would like to, but when I do use it, and I would definitely like to use it more consistently, maybe as some of that like me time that I can commit to myself, because when I do use it, it really helps kind of bring me back into myself and see things going on inside of me from a different perspective. Yeah, also the goddess codes and the other goddess one, there's two different goddess ones, and reminds you of like what's possible for you and like who you really are.
And have you noticed a difference when you were more balanced with your kids and within your relationship?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when I was working with you, I used the neuro balancing one more often during the day when things would just kind of be, I'd be feeling a lot. And, you know, I'd have to take care of my kids in the house. And I could just put that on, even if I was, you know, sitting on the couch or doing some dishes. I could like put that on and it could just kind of bring me a little bit more peace in that moment so that I could then move forward in my day with more like ease and presence with my family.
What effects did it have on your family when you started taking care of yourself?
I think when I'm taking care of myself, one thing is that there's more closeness and joy in my family. Like when I come into, you know, our time together, feeling more like grounded and centered in who I am, like things just flow better for all of us. Like we all just have such a much nicer time together.
Maybe you could share how it is specifically for your partner, Matt, after the transformation. Like he seemed quite happy when we talked the last time all together.
For me to be able to like receive your kind of support and guidance as far as my relationship, and then for us to receive together your support, I mean, it really shifted things. I feel like we didn't put a ton of time into that compared to some of the other things that I worked on with you, but the time that we did put into improving my relationship with Matt was so potent. Like, I think I remember I was having a really hard time one day in my relationship with him and certain perspectives I was having, and we did a neuro balancing session and kind of shifted some things in myself. And I feel like that was that day in particular was a huge turning point in mine and Matt's relationship, just because it helped me see things from a different perspective. I think I'm approaching my relationship differently than I did before. And it's just getting better and better. We're more and more connected. We just connect a lot more. We still don't sleep in the same bed yet, but you know, we'll get there, and I'm not worried about it anymore because we really already have come so far in our connection.
Then those little things, they can't shake one so much anymore, even if they're little things that are not ideal yet, but just you have that bond that's so much stronger now, kind of just knowing he's got your back, you've got his back, and you're together, even if you're not sleeping in the same bed. And maybe after this conversation, you have a little more motivation again. Okay, let's just do these steps and conquer this little bit, which will make a big difference for you too, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I may quote you because you said some really powerful things that you shared, and also that I wrote down. You said the last neurobalancing session I had with Christiane, it was really something. It supported some big shifts in my relationship. I've also been experiencing a deeper underlying ease in my day-to-day experiences. I'm so grateful to be working with Christiane. There's so much my energy now. I feel so much happier with myself than I used to be, and I see my beauty more, which is a powerful thing.
Yeah,
Great work, Heather.
I'd say all of that is still true.
So we had a couple of breaks with coaching where at first you felt like things regressed, but it's soon after we noticed that wasn't really the case. Do you remember what you actually noticed and what you took away from those breaks? And thought it might be good to talk about it again now too, since we had a longer break since we talked last, where again we could just focus on where things might have regressed. But what did you take away from the breaks?
It gave me kind of time to reflect on where I've been and where I am now, and like what kind of the difference is at this point so far.
Also, you felt what difference it made actually doing these small little steps every day, and what the difference is if you don't do them. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, certain things that I didn't do during the break, it helped me to see like, whoa, it really has been different when I am doing those things.
I'm also curious about, because I think I never asked you, how did you actually find out about me, and how did you decide to work with me?
After my son was born, and, I was struggling with just within myself and struggling with him having eczema, the blood in his stool and just the sleep issues. I kept telling myself, like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, get back to a healthier, more energized state. And I kept thinking, oh, I really feel like I'm going to have to work with somebody who can help support me. And I just kept thinking that. And I think maybe I was just like scrolling Facebook, and maybe one of your posts was there. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly how I joined your group. I think I just saw like postnatal depletion, and I was like, well, it sounds like something I'm dealing with. And I had never even heard that term before. I saw that and I was just like, oh, like, what is this mom talking about? Like, that sounds like that could be helpful. Maybe you invited me to join your group, and I just really liked the posts I was seeing, and they all like kind of spoke to me. It was like, oh yeah, I'm struggling with that, and I really resonate with your perspective as well. Some of the things that you point out and talk about in the group, just, about the different things that go unnoticed for mothers, and the areas that we don't get that support that we need, and that validation that like, oh, we're actually not supposed to feel like this, because like conventional like messages just like in the everyday world will say, oh, like it's just a phase, like that's just what it's like being a new mom. And for you to put out there like, no, that doesn't have to be how you feel. And that just really resonated with me. And then on top of that, you shared about your experience with your children's skin issues. And I was like, she just like talks about everything that I'm struggling with that I want help with. Like, this seems like it would be the perfect fit for me to, work with someone who's really going to address so many pain points, I guess, just like so many areas that I'm like, I know I can improve these things. I just don't know how. And you really talked about all those things. I think I reached out to you because you had offered the free discovery call to see if we might be a good fit. And, I told you about my circumstances and my situation, and we really enjoyed talking. And I was like, wow. I told my partner about you. I was like, I really want to work with her. Like, I just have such a good feeling about this. Like, I really feel like it could change our lives. Like, I really felt that way
Mm.
before, just after meeting you for that one short call that we had. And I just kept talking to my partner about it and being like, if we do this, I really feel like it's going to make such a huge difference for us in the long run, because we're going to be able to grow in all these areas. And then I could even say, like, also our relationship, because you talked about that too as being something that you can help with and support. And it was just like a no-brainer at that point. Like, I was like, I just kept coming back to it. Like, I need to work with her. Like, that's gonna make such a huge difference for our family. And yeah, then we met with you together a couple of times and kind of talked about all the details, and you were just really understanding and just made us feel comfortable making that commitment. And we're definitely grateful that it has all happened now, and
Mm.
we're at this point, and it really has made such a huge difference for all of us.
Thank you for sharing all of that. And before we started, I remember, or as we connected first, that your worst fear you shared was that your little one's health and your health will get worse and worse, and that this will affect the whole family. How are you feeling about the future now?
I feel like we have the tools to make, some of the changes that still need made. I feel like my health is at a place where it's not perfect, but it's so much better. And I know that I can keep improving it because I have the
Yeah.
tools to do so. And I can continue to like support myself and support my family in making healthy choices. And one thing is how I feel about myself as a mother. It's really a world of difference. There's so many things, really. Like, my connection with my kids is just so much more smooth, and my kids just seem more bright and happy when I'm more settled and accepting and confident in who I am, just as a person and as a mother. So yeah, just that inner relationship has just blossomed, and then that has, you know, kind of flowed into my relationship with my kids and their happiness, and my relationship with my partner and the joy that we share together. That's one
Yeah.
of the biggest, for sure. And then also, of course, like, the nutrition aspect was something I really wanted to focus on. And so my relationship with food and cooking is so much better than it literally ever has been in my life. I'm so
Yeah.
much more comfortable with making choices for what I'm going to eat and for what my children can eat, and so much more confident just going in the kitchen and preparing something.
And what was your favorite part about working together?
My favorite part of working together was, I think, meeting once or twice a week, meeting with you, and just getting that support and that understanding and that uplifting perspective. It just made such a difference, how I felt at the beginning of meeting with you for like an hour session or however long, and versus how I felt when we were done meeting. Like, that shift was really powerful for kind of carrying into the rest of my week. And being able to do that for 3 months just really kind of, I think, created like a new flow in my life. Being able to do that consistently for a longer period of time with the
Yeah.
type of support that you gave really, I think, made more of a difference in the long run, because we were able to work together consistently for that period of time.
What piece of advice would you give mothers watching this who want to get from postnatal depleted mama to radiant goddess mama while improving their children's health?
We're all capable of so much more than we think we are when we're having a hard time. With the right support, you can grow so much more than you could by yourself. If you find someone who you really resonate with and you feel has the type of support that you need, like working with them, it really makes a big difference in your life in the long term. I know that's something that I've really learned is so true. Just one person, like opening yourself to letting one person in and letting them support you and guide you can make such a big difference in the rest of your life. That's huge. We don't have to do this alone as mothers and families. And even if it is something like this, where it's you meet someone online and they're giving you this support and guidance, it can make a huge difference. I used to think that like I needed to work in person with someone for it to make a difference or for it to really like feel right for me. But this has shown me that you can meet someone amazing just through this type of platform, and it can really change the trajectory of your life.
We lost the village, and we kind of, everyone's saying, hey, we need the village back. And of course, it would be amazing, and we shouldn't give up working towards that. But it's really what I found too. It's about the connections on the same wavelength that matter, and even having one connection, and it could be on the other end of the world. Like that's, at least we're connected now through the internet with each other. And you might resonate with that person more than with your neighbor, or maybe even with your mother-in-law, because if you have the same wavelength, that's really going to help you. And yeah, I can't wash your dishes or watch your kids, right? But it's just this. And sometimes people, it's funny, they kind of comment on as well, are you going to take care of my kids? Like that's what I need. But it's really about the inner shift and empowering somebody so they can do this and they can be resourceful, and then maybe you can make those shifts in your life too, of finding those people too. But it's about that inner power and knowing, okay, I can do this, I can rise above this, like I don't have to settle here and I don't have to feel like that. I find that's the most powerful gift that one can keep for the rest of one's life, like whoever that is that you feel you can resonate with. Thank you for sharing, Heather, and taking this time. It was a real honor to work with you and your family. Enjoyed it so much. And for mamas watching this, if you feel inspired by this, and if you want to have a chat and see if this is the right fit for you and your family, you can also book a free call with me like Heather did via the link that I'll be posting here. And we'll just chat and connect and have a look at what's going on for you, what level of postnatal depletion you've reached, what symptoms your little one's experiencing, and make a game plan to nip mom brain, depletion, overwhelm, and shame in the bud. So just click the link and fill out a quick application form and see if you qualify. And I'm curious for you guys listening, if you're experiencing similar or maybe different struggles than Heather had, and what your big obstacles are right now that keep you away from being the mother, the career or businesswoman, and the lover you know to be. So feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll chat soon.